Crick Buzz at Stumps. Adam Collins and Mike Hussey. It's a three-day test match here at the Gabba. The Australians have flogged Sri Lanka by an innings and 40 runs, Mike. They bowled them out for 139 after bowling them out for 144 on the first day. The fast bowling was superb.
Oh, they certainly were. Jai Richardson on debut in the first innings was outstanding. Pat Cummins very good in the first innings, and then the second innings, well, Pat Cummins' performance was just sensational. You got to feel for the Sri Lankans that this pitch was fast, it was bouncy, it was a day-night test match. Pink ball was really zipping around. Probably the least conditions that they'd be used to coming from the subcontinent, so tough conditions for them. I think Canberra might suit them a little bit better.
At one stage, Pat Cummins had 3 overs, 3 maidens, no runs, 3 wickets. It was just a remarkable spell either side of the close of play yesterday. It was the pace, it was the movement, it was the accuracy. It feels as though, Mike, Pat Cummins might be now the attack leader here.
Well, yeah, I hadn't thought about that too much, but what I like about it, he's obviously got great skill with the way he goes about it, but he's also a very good cricket brain as well. The way he sets batsmen up. Think back to that wicket the previous night. A couple of outswingers, a couple of in-swingers, and then just got the one perfect to find the edge. Really thinking bowler, and then can execute with his magnificent skill as well. The other thing that really stood out to me was he doesn't take any time to warm up. It's straight into a good line and length, and hitting the good areas. He got a wicket in his first over last night. It was only the one over of the night. Wicket first over again today, and then another spell that he came back and got a wicket in his first over again. So it just goes to show that he's right on his game right from the word go.
It's 6 for 23, making match figures of 10 for 60. Completely and utterly outstanding. Jai Richardson, there's almost a case that he bowled better today than he did on day one. Such was the way that he worked the players over. That wicket before what would have been the tea break. I always get confused on day-night test matches. When he beat the bat, then took the off stump out. They've found one, haven't they?
Oh yeah, he's a star. He really is. Great competitor as well. But it's great to see someone swinging that ball as well. We're used to seeing these big fast bowlers coming in and just hitting the pitch hard and just banging away in test match cricket. But to see that good old fashioned running in on the angle and then swinging that ball away from the right hand, it was really exciting to see. He didn't look nervous at all on debut. He just took to test cricket like a duck in water, and he was absolutely superb. And certainly building some depth now, the Australians.
And I'll tell you who loved these fast bowlers, Tim Payne. Here he was talking after play about the performance of Pat Cummins and that of Jai Richardson.
If Pat Cummins bowls like he bowled in this test match against anyone, he's going to take wickets. I thought he was just relentless with his line and length. He gave them absolutely nothing to hit until right at the end when he was a little bit tired, searching for another wicket. But I thought him and Jai in particular, their discipline and their ability to just keep hitting a spot and wearing them down was outstanding. And as I said, I think they'll have a lot of success against a lot of teams if they can continue to do that.
Mike, I wanted to ask you about England. 4 years ago, they went to the Ashes series and they didn't play a specialist seamer swing bowler, if you like, and that was quite controversial. Peter Siddle played the 5th test match. He was brilliant, and the consensus was they missed a trick. How do they manage that? Is Jai Richardson the sort of bowler, from what we've seen here, who actually could, at 140 clicks, play that role? Or should they be looking at a Peter Siddle or a Trent Copeland or a Dan Worrell to complement the attack?
Well, it's a good question. The selectors have certainly got some headaches. You've got to remember there's still a fair bit of time before the Ashes. Okay, there's only a couple of test matches with these 2 tests against Sri Lanka, but there's a number of Sheffield Shield games leading in before the Ashes. So there's time for different bowlers, and batsmen for that matter, to put their hand up. I think what we've seen from Jai Richardson here, though, he would be ideal in English conditions. A little bit shorter. We've seen a Jimmy Anderson type bowler, can really swing the ball both ways, good control, and then the Australian selectors can make the call according to the conditions in England. So, say for example at Edgbaston, where it might be more conducive to some swing bowling, you might bring in a Jai Richardson. You go to Old Trafford, where it might be a bit drier and flatter, then you might go for someone else that's more a hit the wicket sort of bowler.
Yeah, and I feel as though Mitchell Starc's, clearly he's having a form lapse, but they have to back him in, don't they? They're too far down the Mitchell Starc path, rather. They can't pull a swift one now and take him out of consideration.
No way. I would definitely not be doing that. He's taken over 200 test wickets. You don't throw away someone like that. Someone that can bowl 150 k's an hour and has got 200 test wickets to his name is worth the investment. Every player in the history of the game has gone through little troughs in their form. It's happened to everyone. I'm 100% backing Mitchell Starc to come out of it. We know how devastating he can be when he's on top form. But yeah, he's just got to work through this tough little period. But, you know, he's got the character to work his way out of it.
And your area of expertise, the batting. When we spoke for Cricket Buzz in Pakistan, or rather in the Pakistan series in the UAE, there were some fairly serious concerns, but they might have been allayed somewhat with the way we saw Labuschagne play so conservatively yesterday. Likewise, the other man on debut, Patterson, and slowly but surely, Travis Head seems to be making some progress too.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that partnership between Labuschagne and Travis Head. Sri Lanka were on top. They were bowling beautifully. They had that ball talking, and the way, tactically, the way they set up that partnership, they were very patient and very disciplined early, based on allowing balls to pass, good solid defence, and then just slowly started to change the momentum of the game with doing the basics well, running hard between the wickets, playing to their strengths, and they showed a lot of composure there. It was an excellent partnership and good signs for the future. And you mentioned Curtis Patterson as well. Wow, he looked very composed at the crease as well on debut. He just looks ready-made to play Test cricket. He's someone that has performed well for New South Wales over a number of years now, and certainly deserves his selection.
Tough yakka for Sri Lanka. You mentioned on these sort of conditions here in Brisbane, it was always going to be a big task, and they played poorly. There's no way of getting around that with that extra bounce, but Canberra should suit them a little bit more. Usually it's a slab of concrete down there in the nation's capital.
Without doubt, it's generally a lot lower and slower, flat conditions for batting, so it'll be more like a subcontinental pitch, I guess. So you've got to expect the Australian bowlers, and the Sri Lankan bowlers for that matter, to have to work a lot harder for their wickets. But yeah, not having that extra pace and bounce will really help the Sri Lankan batters. Yeah, they've found it really tough here in Brisbane, and look, they wouldn't be the only team in the world. Why India pushed so hard not to have a test match here? Well, this is the exact reason why, because Australia's got such a great record at this ground.
The Sri Lankan skipper Dinesh Chandimal spoke after play about what he needs to do, get his troops in the right mindset to fight back in Canberra later this week.
Yeah, we are really disappointed as a team. Our batting was below par throughout the game. So that's the one area we'll have to improve as a team. And if you can't score 300 in a total in an inning, it's always tough to beat the team like Australia, especially playing in Australia. So that's one area we'll have to improve as a team, and we're looking forward to that.
So a triumphant week for Australia. They go up 1-0 after an innings and 40-run win here at the Gabba. Adam Collins and Mike Hussey signing off for Cricket Buzz at Stumps. We'll catch you in Canberra.